Well, hello friends out there on YouTube land. Robert Ham here, Robert Ham Photography. Today, I want to talk to you about a switch that I've made recently to the Nikon D750. I know this is kind of crazy. I'm going to give you a little bit of background and share with you my story and what I enjoy about the D750. So if you're ready, go ahead and grab your pants, right? Because some of you know I love Fuji so much, you might be crapping in them right now. We're going to take this to the next level, so let's get started. All right, all puns aside, I'm very punny tonight. I got a question the other day from one of our viewers that said, "Hey Rob, are you ever going to make another regular photography video?" And the answer is yes. Of course, those of you know I've been making the box. We brought the box back, fully funded, over $28,000 so far, and counting, funding with the box, and we've got a ship date this July. If you're interested in a really awesome medium format film camera, check out some of my other videos about the box. It's something that I've done. You can go check us out at Ham Camera. Find us anywhere at The Box Is Back. Point is, for the past, I'd say 3 months, 4 months, this has been a very large staple video production platform for me. I've been talking about this camera so much, and one of my good loyal watchers, subscribers just asked me a real quick question: Rob, are you going to make any other videos since your camera's been so successful? And the answer is actually yes. I apologize for neglecting the other world of photography out there, but you guys know for a fact that I've had a lot of fun with this. So let's talk about something that happened recently. This, of course, is the Nikon D750. This is a hefty old beast of a camera. I really like it. A nice lens on here. And I recently picked this up for my main event and portrait shooting camera. And I actually just unloaded all my Fuji gear. Now, before I get into it, I don't dislike Fuji. I haven't stopped being a fan of Fuji. I still consider myself a Fuji fanboy. I just love the mirrorless cameras. The reality is, however, that technology gets old and it loses its value. So every couple of years, I dump my current technology that I've got and go back into a system. Generally, it's the same system that I've been in. But this year was a little bit different. Number one, I've been looking at this camera ever since 2016, mainly because it comes with an absolutely excellent lens combination with the body. We're going to get into that in a second, and I like that, and the price recently dropped on it big time, so I like that a lot. However, this camera is technologically 4 years old. It's from 2014, and there's a lot of newer mirrorless cameras out there that would have been much more up my style. So why would I move to a DSLR style of camera from a mirrorless camera and lose some really cool things like live view? And the real answer is Fuji kind of disappointed me a little bit because I didn't get a full frame Fuji. Now, the likelihood is they'll never do a full frame Fuji, and that's okay. I was looking at the XH1 or the XT1, XH1, I think it's the H1, whatever. And, one of the things I like about Fuji were the dials and the knobs, and so they kind of changed the form factor. And so by changing the form factor, moving the ISO dial, putting that big faceplate up there, the camera lost a lot of its personality and became more of a regular camera, more of like a DSLR style camera, especially with that big information display. If you want one of those, I got a big information display right there too now. So it kind of changed a little bit of that, and I really, really like the way the XT2 and the XT1 and the X100 or the X Pro 1, I like the dials. So that was something. But here's something else. I recently went out and did a portrait session. This is, I'm going to show you the picture of a really great real estate agent here in the Hampton Roads area. Her name is Elba Dior. You can check her out. I'll put the link and everything down here. And she doesn't even know I'm putting this up, so haha, laugh on you. But if you want to check out a really great image, check this out. You see this image right here? We were having some fun doing a photo shoot. I needed some images out of the D750. I wanted to take some pictures, and I thought, why not take a picture of the wonderful lady Pura and her daughter, who teach me and my son Spanish. I thought that would be great, and so we took some family pictures together. Here's one of the more funny ones to kind of share you a little bit of Elba's personality. But do you see a difference? The question is, do you see a difference? Woo. Yeah. So this was the out of the camera, and this was the retouch in Lightroom. They are so extraordinarily close, it just didn't make sense. Now, me telling you about this and showing you images, that's not my style. I don't think I'm going to load this up and do another video. I think here's what I'm going to tell you. I picked up the camera. I just want to give you the experience. I picked up the camera. The very first thing coming from mirrorless for so long, coming from live view, that my brain had to think about was no chimping. You know, there was no live view image. It's a real viewfinder. And that was different for me because I haven't used one in so long. But then I thought to myself, wait a minute, I haven't had a viewfinder ever. This never had a viewfinder. I never got to see my image out of this or any of the other film cameras. You guys know I love to shoot film. So when I got back to that, it kind of actually put me back in that film photographer mode. And it was kind of like, whoa, this is just kind of like a think thing. And I thought that was pretty cool. And so before I went on my photo shoot with Elba and her family, I took the camera out and actually photographed my kids at the park, and I took my lights out. You guys know I like the Yongnuo speed lights. I don't have anything special. They're like $70 a speed light. And I did a 3-point lighting setup, actually a 2-point lighting setup, and a receiver on the camera. So just the transceiver, receiver here and everywhere else. And that meant that, yeah, that was pretty standard. I just started taking pictures with some backlighting and some rim lighting, depending on wherever my main light was. Most of the time it was the trees. Sometimes it wasn't. It just depended. Of course, I had these speed lights on a Westcott softbox and an Apollo and a Halo, actually. The perfect pair. I really like that. And we just went out and had some fun. And it wasn't 15 minutes into shooting with my children that I realized, man, I got this. This was good. And so that's what happened. When Elba and her family showed up, we did our first photo here. This one's a little bit darker. Give you kind of a look-see at it right like that. Nice fun. And we're laughing too, by the way. And then in Lightroom, you know, just kind of touched up the highlights and some of the shadows a little bit, added just a little bit of a softening and everything. But you know what? Here's the thing. I have never been at a spot where there were two separate images that were this close from input to output. Now that's just my workflow. Whenever we get into Lightroom, we can fix a lot of things, but I was just surprised. And that gets me, man, I don't want to go on, but I want to tell you how important of a thing, of a confidence builder, that was for me as a photographer. You know, of course I can take the picture and chimp and look back at the image on the screen in playback. But the reality is to get out there and just move into the system and then just immediately feel at home, that was cool. That was really cool. I really like that. Now, you guys know I'm not a big Nikon fan. I've never really enjoyed Nikon or Canon cameras. I shot on them in film, or specifically Canon, back in high school. And then when I switched over to digital, it was really Fuji, Sony, and Olympus, never Panasonic. And that was pretty much it. And so moving to here, how did I get to here? That's the next question. And this is huge. It's big. It's heavy. How did I get to here? Well, in 2016, or actually the end of 2015, October 2015, I bought a drone. And I thought that the drone was going to help my photography business, specifically my wedding photography business. But then the laws got clamped down so much that it made it difficult to use. I had to get operator licenses and stuff like that, and then I had to get waivers from the FAA. And of course I got my license and stuff like that, but it became so difficult just to have somebody out there to use it. And if I wasn't using it, you got to have a pilot, and you have a viewer and all this other stuff. It just really made it less enjoyable for me, which made it less likely that I would use that technology to my advantage, which means I wouldn't make a lot of money. And so I didn't. I actually didn't shoot any professional weddings with that drone. I made a lot of cool videos for myself on my off time, but I didn't do anything with it. And so the interesting thing was, back in 2016, when I got that drone, spent $3 in a drone, I was looking at this camera when it was $3 or somewhere around there. And I was like, or end of 2015, I was like, I really like this. But I thought to myself, what would really expand my camera collection would be an aerial camera, not a stationary camera. I think I may have been wrong. Maybe I should have checked this out back then. So I've been looking at this camera for a while, and it's a full frame sensor, which is really nice. I would have liked for Fuji to have had that, but they've got the medium format GFX out right now, so that's pretty cool. But that's just out of my price range. I wasn't going to spend $6,000, $7,000 on a camera for that, right? Just wasn't going to do it. If that was the case, then you could look like the 1D or the D5 or the D4S or any of these other pro bodies as well that have been doing it for a long time. And they got more lenses out. Fuji has no full frame lenses. So I understand their thoughts and processes there. The other thing was that this lens, this 120 millimeter up to 24 to 120 f4. Hey guys, we got to think about things. Maybe crop factors don't really matter, but when you're comparing lenses to lenses, this is a great lens. A constant f4 all the way out. If you're on I can't think right now, a micro four thirds, which has a 2x crop factor, an f1.8 is really more like a 3.6. So that 1.845 is kind of like a 3.690. Hey, and we've got that here in f4 at 90, so they're kind of equivalent. And I got to say, shooting with it has been excellent for that. Of course, it's not exactly the same, but my point is, what a great full frame walk around lens for. I really enjoy that. And I have not been let down by its image quality. So far I've shot 4 different events with it. The pictures that I showed you earlier were just from the camera itself, from the very first time I took it out to shoot someone for when it meant something to me. And how cool was it to walk away with just great shots. And so that's kind of how I got here. Does it mean that I've walked away from Fuji? No. Why did I sell my Fuji gear? Because it was old and I've used it a lot. Lots of a lot. And so I'd rather buy something new and unload the gear and make some money off of it and put into a new system. And that's what I did. I sold my Fuji gear, got $1,200-1,300 for it, and put it into this camera right there. Pretty simple. And when I bought this camera, I made sure I had enough new events lined up that would also pay for it. So why not? The next thing to do is a wide-angle lens and a couple of primes, and I'll call it a day. I guess the backup body's in order as well, and probably would be another D750. Maybe something different, but definitely a Nikon on that particular line. Will I get another Fuji camera? The answer is yes. The next camera that I will buy, which is a Fuji, is probably the X100F. In fact, that might even be the camera that I use as my backup body to this camera, because I absolutely love the X100F. But when it came down to buy and I was doing stuff, this is what I got. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope that you have enjoyed this. If you've heard any of that printer hum in the background, it's because we're making boxes, baby. The box is back. If you don't know about the box right now, it's a box camera that I've put together. We brought it back with over 237. We're up to 280 backers right now. The box is back. It's our slogan right there, because we brought the box camera back. Ham Camera Company. Just head over to hamcamera.com. That's ham with 2 M's, and learn all about the box camera. Check out some of the images that we've done out of that. It's just absolutely amazing. If you like it, support it. Get a t-shirt, buy the camera, and or just share this video so that your friends can see it. So those are my thoughts, my first impressions. I'm really happy. It feels good in the hand. And oh, did I mention this manual? This is all English. This is 502 pages right here. Nikon did a great job explaining their entire camera. I wish Fuji had given a nice thick manual like that, but lots of features on here, and I'm really excited. Guys, I want to thank you for watching and remind you I'll catch you on the flip side.